In this edition of Unreported Europe, we dig deep into French farmers' fears. Local farmers' markets remain closed, and seasonal workers aren't travelling between European countries because of the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions.
Due to COVID-19, Europe's farmers feel threatened in their very existence. Where do they find seasonal workers? How do they sell their crops? These are difficult times for European farmers.
Caillaux-sur-Fontaine is a village close to Lyon, where Michael Bourguignon runs his family business on a 120-hectare farm. He depends on farmhands from Poland, and when European borders were closed to stop the spread of coronavirus, he suddenly lacked workers. That's why the European Commission calls upon member states to facilitate seasonal farmhands between countries.
Right now, we don't feel the benefits of the open borders for seasonal workers. Maybe this will change in a few weeks' time, but our situation is problematic for today. We suffer from manpower and we do not have seasonal workers who can come to work.
Later on in the year, we will need many more people to work here. The harvest season has just started. Usually we need around 30 to 35 people. Today we have just 15 people and more hands will be needed.
They're housed in mobile homes, and some of them are unable to get home because they arrived before the COVID-19 outbreak, while others are still in Poland, unable to travel to France. The French government called on the local unemployed population to help out. Dimitri Angelin is one of them. Usually he cooks at a stylish Lyon restaurant, but of course it's closed due to the pandemic.
I told myself, instead of staying at home just letting the time pass by, I could do something else. Moreover, I can top up my unemployment pay with the money I receive for my farm work here.
Increasing unemployment benefits by helping farmers is perfectly legal. It's one of the schemes put in place to avoid a collapse of the food production process. But Michael Bourguignon is still worried.
Over there, that's our spinach field. Behind, you'll see the cornfield. And even further, we have a parcel of land to grow onions over there, close to the greenhouses. And that's a plot of land for lettuce. Today, I have 1 hectare of lettuce ready to cut. But if the farmers' markets won't change, it's almost certain that I will have to destroy them. Therefore, I am asking the French state to lower our charges or even to cancel all of them, at least during this period, which is difficult.
In the French Ardèche region at Saint-Alban-d'Aix, closed farmers' markets are causing people, like beekeeper Francis Gruzel, a huge problem. Honey production is already a fragile profession. There are just 75,000 French beekeepers, and most of them are small businesses. In the last decade, 15,000 gave up, and Francis warns more will follow after this crisis.
COVID-19 and the lockdown are killing thousands of beekeepers' livelihoods. They are the victims of unsold honey and closed farmers' markets. It's a catastrophe. COVID-19 is finishing off beekeepers who are already crushed by insecticides, pesticides, decimated bee colonies and spiralling production costs.
At the age of 13, Francis received his first hive. Today, he represents 725 beekeepers from the Ardèche and Drôme region as head of the Regional Professional Beekeepers Association. He says the sector is on the brink of collapse, and so he wrote a letter to the Agricultural Minister. And how does he think the government can help?
To save beekeepers, the government should cut VAT in half, hand out sugar subsidies to beekeepers, exempt them from social security contributions, and launch a TV campaign to invite consumers to buy honey again from their local beekeeper.
Jeremy Baroud runs a 20-hectare family farm business in the village of Irigny. He used to sell his produce at 8 different markets. But since the COVID-19 pandemic, he's now set up a completely different distribution system via the phone and social media. Customers can order delivery boxes, which Jeremy and his team prepare.
The shutdown of farmers' markets was a brutal shock. A lot of questions came up. What should we do with our products? And with all the vegetables still in the ground, are they going to get picked soon? All this work for nothing, but there was no time to stay in a panic mode. The City Hall was reactive. They immediately understood that following the shutdown of the farmers' markets, different logistics were needed to feed the population and that producers still needed to get their work done in this economically difficult situation.
Jeremy's cousin used to drive armoured trucks full of money. Now he transports fruit and vegetables. All over Lyon, district mayors and producers set up a network of drive-ins and distribution points, with less people and also with strict social distancing controls. Corinne Barret is head of a neighbourhood association in Lyon, and she says the new way of selling fresh produce is proving popular.
The residents prefer to buy local products instead of going to a supermarket. This is also an opportunity for fruit and vegetable producers. The fruit and vegetables continue to grow. It would be a shame to waste them and not to harvest the crops.
This is the very first time I am doing this in that way, protecting myself, putting on gloves. Well, they have some holes. I'm going to change them, wearing a mask, telling everyone to keep a distance, to keep safe and to keep us safe as well. That's it.
Usually, France imports around 40% of its fruit and veg. That has since dropped. These shoppers think closing farmers' markets at the moment is a good idea.
I think that closing farmers' markets is a good idea. Normally, everyone is in close contact with each other and we don't know for sure that everything is disinfected. Right now, we have a small alternative, which is cool.
I think it's complicated to put in place all those security measures needed to be respected by everybody on farmers' markets. That's why this new system isn't bad at all, but I fully understand that it's really difficult for producers. I have to admit it's a bit expensive. This is the first time I've come to such a place, but I'm not sure I'll be here every week.
Farmers struggling to find enough manpower, pay bills and distribute their produce, and consumers facing new constraints. Just some of the challenges which will have a lasting impact on daily life.